The last ice age significantly transformed Canada's landscape, establishing new habitats and pathways for wildlife. This pivotal event laid the foundation for the rich diversity of species we observe today. In spring, the Atlantic coast of Newfoundland becomes a hotspot for humpback whales, drawn by the abundance of food. This seasonal migration underscores the critical role marine ecosystems play in supporting wildlife. Capelin spawning along the shore is vital for both the fish and their predators. This natural cycle exemplifies the intricate interconnectedness of marine life and the challenges it encounters. Indigenous peoples employed fire as a key method for landscape management, cultivating productive habitats. This practice shaped the environment over millennia, ensuring plentiful resources for future generations. The shift from indigenous land management to European practices drastically altered forest composition, with maple trees becoming predominant. This transition has influenced the ecosystem's diversity over time. Canoes, crafted from birch bark by First Nations, proved essential for European explorers. This innovative design enabled deeper exploration of Canada's vast territories, marking the significance of Indigenous knowledge. The design of snowshoes, inspired by wildlife, allows humans to navigate snowy terrains effectively. This adaptation reflects the broader theme of survival strategies seen in both animals and human innovations. Polar bears give birth in dens and nurture their cubs in the forest, showcasing unique reproductive strategies. This highlights the importance of shelter and resource availability in their natural habitat. In contrast to many forest creatures, flying squirrels remain active year-round, demonstrating their gliding ability to traverse their environment. Their feeding habits also illustrate how they adapt to forest ecosystems. The volcanic Rainbow Mountain Range, shaped by processes akin to those on Mars, presents extraordinary geological features. The Stikine River carves a dramatic canyon landscape, further enhancing the area's allure. British Columbia houses one-third of the world's temperate rainforests, boasting remarkable biodiversity. These lush ecosystems provide habitats for unique species, including the elusive spirit bear. The Arctic tundra, once a grassland, has changed dramatically due to human influence and climate change. This transformation has substantially impacted the landscape, wildlife, and ecosystems across Canada. The migration of Pacific salmon stands out as a remarkable natural phenomenon, occurring for millions of years as they return to spawn. This annual journey greatly influences the ecosystem and local wildlife. Ancient peoples skillfully engineered the coastline to create favorable environments for clam proliferation, showcasing their deep understanding of marine ecosystems. These practices continue to benefit various species today. Wolves in this region adapt their hunting strategies by leaving salmon remains for scavengers, allowing them to access nutritious parts of the fish. This behavior illustrates the complex interdependence among species in the ecosystem. Salmon have a profound impact on local wildlife, with over 200 species depending on them for sustenance. This relationship emphasizes salmon's crucial role in the food web. For thousands of years, First Nations groups have managed their environments through controlled burns and harvesting techniques to sustain salmon populations. Their traditional practices highlight the significance of ecological stewardship. Salmon provide essential nutrients to forest ecosystems, as their carcasses enrich the soil and promote the growth of towering trees. This nutrient cycle illustrates the interconnectivity of life in the region. European settlers often viewed the land as dark and foreboding, starkly contrasting with the vibrant ecosystems where First Nations thrived.
This misunderstanding fostered a disconnection from the environment.
First Nations acted as stewards of their territories, nurturing salmon populations that supplied vital food sources for both wildlife and human communities for generations. Mountain wildlife, such as bighorn sheep, has adapted to harsh conditions, demonstrating the resilience of species in challenging environments. Their survival strategies exemplify the delicate balance within mountain ecosystems. In spring, the strongest males in a herd compete for mating rights, ushering in new life. This reflects the ongoing cycle of survival and reproduction in nature when food resources are plentiful. Grizzly bears face a desperate fight for survival, relying heavily on salmon to prepare for the long, cold winter months. They adjust their diets to maximize their chances of survival. The Vut Gwayan First Nation has taken steps to protect this sacred area, allowing wildlife to flourish without exploitation. Their stewardship exemplifies the importance of conservation for future generations. The arrival of European explorers like Henry Kelsey unveiled the vast prairie landscape, abundant with millions of bison and pronghorn antelope. These encounters underscored the significance of these species within the ecosystem. Indigenous practices such as controlled burns were instrumental in maintaining grasslands by preventing tree overgrowth and enriching the soil. This sustainable approach fostered grass growth, essential for grazing animals. Wolves played a crucial role in the prairie ecosystem, regulating bison populations and maintaining ecological balance. Their presence helped prevent overgrazing, sustaining a healthy environment for various species. In winter, predation dynamics shift significantly, with wolves gaining an advantage over bison due to deep snow. This change affects the bison's survival strategies, putting them in vulnerable positions. The onset of winter brings food scarcity among species such as moose and deer, as temperatures drop sharply. Many animals depend on specific food sources to endure these harsh conditions. Cultural adaptations, such as ice fishing, showcase how indigenous peoples have historically thrived in these demanding environments. This practice continues today, fostering strong community and family ties. Beavers primarily consume leaves, twigs, and bark, storing reserves for difficult times. This behavior highlights their adaptability in challenging environments. Beavers play a vital role in their ecosystems by creating wetlands that support diverse wildlife, emphasizing their importance in maintaining biodiversity. Historically, the fur trade had a significant impact on beaver populations, illustrating the complex relationship between nature and human economic agendas. At one point, the beaver population reached about 400 million, dramatically influencing the landscape by creating wetlands and diverse habitats. Their near extinction has disrupted these vital ecological processes. Increasing wildfire frequencies, driven by landscape changes, have made fire suppression efforts, including water bombers, essential for protecting timber reserves and human settlements. European settlement dramatically transformed the prairie landscape, leading to a decline in bison populations and the emergence of managed herds, altering the natural balance of the ecosystem. Polar bears depend on sea ice for hunting seals, illustrating their adaptability and the critical role ice plays in their life cycle. Their hunting methods evolve according to changing ice conditions. The Inuit possess profound knowledge of local ice conditions, enabling them to discover food sources often overlooked by explorers in the treacherous Arctic landscape. Species like common eiders exploit open water patches created by currents and winds, showcasing the diverse strategies wildlife employ to thrive in extreme conditions. Ducks encounter critical challenges when ice formations hinder access to food sources, highlighting how temperature fluctuations significantly affect their survival. Their energy reserves can deplete quickly. Polar bears rely on seasonal flow edges for hunting seals, demonstrating the interconnectedness of species within the Arctic ecosystem. However, their hunting success is often low, compounding their survival challenges. Inuit hunters adapt their methods to leverage the seal population, reflecting traditional knowledge in response to changing conditions. This relationship illustrates human dependence on Arctic wildlife. The summer melting of sea ice creates precarious conditions for animals like narwhals, which depend on stable ice for habitat and survival. This environmental shift affects their reproductive behaviors. Caribou migration patterns are disrupted by early summer melting, complicating their journey to calving grounds. The timing of these seasonal changes throws their biological clocks out of sync. Adapting to the changing Arctic environment poses challenges for polar bears, requiring them to modify their hunting strategies as ice recedes. Their struggle for food underscores the broader implications of climate change on Arctic wildlife. Beluga whales migrate to Somerset Island seeking warmer waters that aid in shedding old skin. This behavior is vital for their health and well-being. The emergence of killer whales as new predators in the Arctic raises concerns, as they adapt to hunt large mammals like belugas, disrupting existing food chains. As polar bears struggle to hunt effectively, the rapid disappearance of ice complicates their search for food, significantly impacting their survival in a changing environment.